Hi, my name's Amy Gibson. These are the Jesus interviews I'm sharing with you. What I believe are Jesus Christ responses to my prayers. As He speaks to me, I just write down His words, and then I share them with you, and then you can make up your own mind about this. Conversation, contemplation, and this is not advice. This is God's perspective, God's point of view of us. Today Jesus said that He wanted to speak about intention. The words and wisdom of Jesus Christ, Almighty God Jesus Christ said, as creator of the human body, Jesus Christ, Almighty God, understands the components, the mechanics, the physiological, spiritual processes, and interactions which influence behavior. As the brain receives sensory information from the body, from the universe, and from the spiritual world. And then Jesus said, I understand how it works better than the finest scientist, and there are many, and I created them all, said Jesus. And then Jesus said, as the brain receives information from the eyes, ears, skin, nose, mouth, and the part of the human being which senses the emotions of others, far and near, past and present, and future sometimes. All of this and more are the overwhelming influx of constant information to the human being for the brain to process without ceasing, even while sleeping, for every breath of life. And all of this coming from outside one's body, from the environment, for the brain to coordinate, and multiple sources, many times opposite in philosophy, in geography, from all parts of the world. And one senses war on the opposite side of the globe, and one senses famine thousands of miles away, and one knows when one's children are in danger, and one can feel the storm brewing. And then Jesus said, in fact, there are literally millions, billions, trillions of sensory information brought to each human brain every moment of every day, and the brain seamlessly assimilates these. And then Jesus said, and now, listener, you are not aware of all these influences, seen and unseen, heard and unheard, felt and unfelt, although your internal, involuntary systems have received these. The internal human, which directs your heart to beat and your lungs to send oxygen to every part of your being. You know so much more than you know. You have a subconscious conscience and a sacred wisdom. And then Jesus paused and He held up His hand. You do not understand how priceless this is. Every time a baby is born, a miracle in the image of God has taken place. Listener, look at the world from a distance. And where else do you see? And then Jesus held His hand as though holding the world. A magnificent, living, breathing planet. Look closer at your home, planet Earth, and discover the birth of cherubs. Of all colors, all different and the same at the same time, said Jesus. Gravity keeps you close to your perfect world. filled with oxygen for you to breathe, and paradise in comparison to the universe. And at that point, I could sense critics saying, "Ah, perfect world," scoffing at that. And then I thought, is the world not perfect because of God or because of us? And then Jesus said, and with all of this, the human being, primarily a receiver of information, then goes out into the world to speak, to share, to serve, to influence the other humans. And each influences the next and pass it on. And so it goes. And now, listener, said Jesus, you will. And Jesus held up his hand and snapped his fingers. Make your intention. Your intention is based on all of the information you have received. And this information is weighted because the providers of this have various hierarchies of influence with respect to you. Family members, friends, the adults may not have worldly significance, but they certainly have influence on you, said Jesus. The people who you spend the most of your time with have the most influence on you. Your Creator, who loves you more than you can comprehend, asks you to check your intention. And then Jesus said, your intention is the, and Jesus emphasized to me, all caps on the word the, defining creator of your fate in this life and the next. There are many decisions one must make in the course of one's life, and intention is the difference between heaven and hell. The words and wisdom of Jesus Christ, I believe, for you and for me, God's perspective of us. And I appreciate your time. World peace.